meaning hereby, on the soil of Hindustan, Firak, caravans and kafilas from all over the world kept on coming. And so was the Hindustan made. I have chosen three icons from three different historical eras. Ashoka the Great, he was Buddhist, he was the great iconic Indian in ancient era. The Upanishads doctrine of Sarva Dharma Sambhava, meaning hereby all religions are equal, or all faiths leads to same salvation or destination, or all dharmas or faiths are possible. Assalamu alaikum and adab to all viewers. Welcome to LYCEUM Study Group Lecture Series. LYCEUM Study Group के लेक्चर सीरीज की ये पहली वीडियो है, क्योंकि बहुत सारे मेरे चाहने वालों ने ये इसरार किया कि आप LYCEUM स्टडी ग्रुप के दायरे में भी कुछ वीडियोस अपलोड करें। अल्लामा इकबाल की वीडियोस चलती रहेंगी, साथ ही साथ हम LYCEUM स्टडी ग्रुप के लेक्चर सीरीज का भी आज पहला लेक्चर दिया जाएगा। दिस इज द फर्स्ट लेक्चर ऑफ इट्स काइंड अंडर LYCEUM स्टडी ग्रुप which will be uploaded on my YouTube channel Figar Arif. Keeping in view the charter of LYCEUM study group, which believes in the open discussion, open debate, proliferation of learning, and enduring more and more innovative research in every field. I must begin with a disclaimer that the views expressed herein are personal and they have nothing to do with my official position or with any other association or NGOs with which I am associated. The views hereby are expressed as an ordinary citizen of Great Indian Republic, which is the highest social categorization and constitutional identity of an individual. The views are expressed while exercising Article 19, Subclause 1 from the list of fundamental rights, which talks about freedom of speech and expression, and also by exercising Article 51A, Part H, among the list of fundamental duties, which says that it is the duty of every citizen to develop scientific temper, humanism, and spirit of inquiry and reform. Dear viewers, I begin with a very important topic in the very first lecture series under LYCEUM study group. The topic is Idea of India. The complex web of India's diversity is our main strength. And this is the first online lecture which will be uploaded on my YouTube channel as a LYCEUMer. I must begin the topic, I must begin with a beautiful couplet of great Urdu poet फिराक गोरखपुरी. फिराक गोरखपुरी का शेर है जो तशखीस करता है पूरे हमारे मुल्क हिंदुस्तान की. फिराक साहब फरमाते हैं, सरजमीन हिंद पे अकवाम आलम के फिराके, सरजमीन हिंद पे अकवाम आलम के फिराक, कारवां काफिले बसते गए हिंदुस्तान बनता गया. Meaning hereby, on the soil of Hindustan, Firak, caravans and kafilas from all over the world kept on coming, and so was the Hindustan made. This is a very short but a very precise definition of the idea of India. ये एक पूरे समंदर को कूजे में बंद कर दिया गया है फिराक साहब के शेर की तरफ. This is the true depiction of the diversity of our country and the idea of India, wherein people from different nations, different tribes, different cultures, and different civilizations came in groups which paved the way for the anthropological and civilizational evolution and development of India in its various phases of history. If we begin from the entrance of Aryans, nearly about 1500 BC, to the advent of Muslims in the form of Arabs, Afghans, Turks, from 1712 AD onwards to the advent of Europeans from 1498 AD. It was the date when I think 20th of May 1498 Vasco da Gama first landed in India. So from 1498 onwards, Europeans came in the form of Portuguese, the Dutch, the French, last but not the least, the Britishers. India being referred as open civilization, or if we go by the theory of Huntington calling India a civil and open civilization. Indeed, India has also been referred as a melting pot civilization from various authors, and India from the dawn of Indus Valley civilization to this neo-modern era has acted indeed like a melting pot and an arena of debate or a place of assimilation as well as accommodation among the various civilizational encounters and kept its diversity, nourish its diversity, develop its diversity under the unique name of Ganga Yamuna civilization. Take, for example, I have chosen three icons from three different historical eras. Ashoka the Great, he was Buddhist, he was the great iconic Indian in ancient era. Akbar the Great, he was a Muslim and an iconic Indian in the medieval era. And Mahatma Gandhi the Great, he was Hindu and the most iconic Indian in modern era. These are the replicas of our uniqueness in different periods of history. This diversity has always been our strength from day one to till now, as every mind is active, every scholar is active, and every idea is represented, and every culture has its place in the great Indian Republic. If we go by the great doctrine of Upanishads, the Upanishads doctrine of Sarva Dharma Sambhava, meaning hereby all religions are equal, or our faiths leads to same salvation or destination, or all dharmas or faiths are possible. It is our age old replica of our pluralism and our diversity, that from day one we were multi religious, we were multicultural, we were multi ethnical in nature. The Maha Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita's universal message of Vasudeva Kutumbukam, meaning hereby the whole world is one family. It also promotes the idea of India with the proliferation of peace, coexistence, diversity, multiculturalism, global solidarity, and tolerance. If we go, if we research more, if we see Mundaka Upanishads, its doctrine of Satyame Vijete, meaning hereby truth alone triumphs. It is another idealistic or moral basis of the idea of India. Most of the countries follow either pragmatic tools or idealistic tools of shaping their identities, and we have adopted both, but our tinge is towards more idealistic and moral tools for defining ourselves. Satyameva Jayate, following independence, this doctrine of Satyameva Jayate was adopted as national motto of India. On what date? On 26th of January 1950, the day India became republic. If we go by the work of the famous historian Ramachandra Guha argued in various of his books. The ideas are scattered in various of his books. The famous books like Gandhi, The Years That Changed the World, India After Gandhi, Makers of Modern India, Democrats and Dissenters, if not the last or the least, these books, Ramachandra Guha argued that the model of India is the most politically reckless and culturally ambitious experiment ever conducted at the world level. The very big statement: India was the most unnatural nation. As never before in human history, nations were never created amidst of such diversities. And as per Ramachandra Guha, India was the most likely world's democracy. As never before in human history, universal adult franchise, that is right to vote, was not given to all citizens with a single stroke. If we see the practice of world democracies, mostly American, British, and all other democracies, the right to vote was extended in piecemeal manner. America took almost centuries from 1776 to 1915 when the universal adult franchise was adopted. But in case of India, we were born with universal adult franchise. We adopted universal adult franchise with a single stroke. So in this context, it was expected by the pundits, by the scholars of Western democracy and the commentators of the idea of nation. They were predicting that India will fail both as a nation as well as a democracy. But quite contrary to all the beliefs, quite contrary to all the dogmas, we survive. And we not only survive, we even progresses both as a nation as well as a democracy. In our country, army has not taken over, bureaucracy has not taken over the representative institutions of the government. This shows the success of our democracy, and it is also our first generation experience. We have not got from 47 to 2047. हमारे पास अभी एक साल 100 साल का भी एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है. So it is our first generation experience, and rightly said by Allama Iqbal, the poet of East. कुछ बात है कि हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी, कुछ बात है कि हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी, सदियों रहा है दुश्मन दौरे जमा हमारा. So the idea of India has always been inclusive in terms of caste, in terms of color, in terms of creed, in terms of ideas, in terms of religions, and this diversity has always been our strength. And there is always a scope of improvement, and we are improving and we will improve. Thanks a lot. This ended the lecture first. Thank you.